On June 2nd, 2022, LEGO announced that a majority of its current and upcoming sets would be facing price increases. The company cited it was due to increased raw material and operating costs, but simply put, it's inflation. Now, many LEGO fans and consumers were really pissed about this, as it seemed LEGO sets had already increased in price over the past few years, and certain sets were deemed overpriced. But this was to make the problem worse, as these price increases were to take effect starting in July, and be fully implemented in August and September. Many of these really weren't that bad as we thought, with the more affordable sets only going up by around $5, maybe $10, but the more expensive and larger scale sets had more significant costs. For instance, the Globe set, one I got in February this year, went from costing $200 to $230. The Ultimate Collector Series AT-AT went from costing $800 to $850, and most ridiculous of all, the Lamborghini Sion FKP37 went from $380 to a whopping $450, a total increase of $70. That is insane. Also, many of the August sets were given ridiculous prices, like the Justifier being $170 when it should have been around $140 at most. The LEGO company should have just done this to newer sets coming out, but instead also did it to its sets that have already been sitting on shelves for quite a while. Just a bad move to tarnish the company's reputation a bit. Some will argue that they would have to do this to maintain a profit, but it should have been handled better. Mixels was a lesser known LEGO theme that lasted from early 2014 till late 2016. It mainly consisted of these $5 sets of buildable monsters from different tribes, which you would connect together into one big creature. It was average and nothing notable really came from it. That was except for one set released in June 2015 called Turg. The set itself didn't cause controversy, but the marketing did. LEGO's official description for it read, "Part frog, part chicken, part back at the bus window liquor. This Mixel has the longest tongue of them all." That might not seem bad on the surface until you learn what it truly means. A bus window licker is a term meant to describe a mentally handicapped person. What's even worse is that Turg is also described as an experiment gone wrong. Several mental health organizations complained to LEGO about this, to which the company apologized. The set itself was only on shelves for 3 months, though this is the same for all Mixel sets, as more were to replace them for fall 2015. There's only been a few times that LEGO's ever had to recall a product that they put on shelves, but none have ever been for a harmful reason besides one. That would be the 2002 Duplo type set called the LEGO Explorer Super Truck. With the set number 3509, it was a $20 set that came with this monster dump truck and 40 Duplo bricks. Obviously those were fine, but the truck itself was said to be a hazard for small children. But you're probably thinking, what makes this truck dangerous? It looks safe enough and nothing here looks like a choking hazard. Well, those big wheels there can detach from the rest of the vehicle, and connecting them were these metal axles which had the potential to puncture little kids. There were 10 reports of this happening, with 3 of those resulting in injury. This recall actually occurred in 2006, 2 years after the set was taken off shelves. Those who had bought it were urged to submit a recall form and recycle the truck, and were given a $15 gift card for any LEGO stores and at-home shopping. Yeah, your kid got murdered by this toy truck, but at least you got a gift card. Nice, right? Since then, this case has remained more obscure due to how long ago it happened. Earlier this year it was announced what direct-to-consumer set was being released for LEGO Harry Potter, that being the Hogwarts Express. Now, we had already gotten a Hogwarts Express in mid-2018, which I actually have, but that was a retail set that went for $80. This was to be a massive and more in scale with the minifigures and go for $500. Many were annoyed by this though, as there were already more interesting options for a Harry Potter direct-to-consumer set, especially a Gringotts Bank. But it still seemed promising, as it was to also include a more detailed platform 9 3/4 and a track, and it was to include around 20 minifigures, some of which based on the final scene in Deathly Hallows Part 2. It was to be released on August 31st, 2022, with official images planned to be revealed around the week before. But on August 8th, images leaked. A LEGO fan from New Zealand had originally ordered the recently released Lion Knight's castle, but instead got the Express. This is super bizarre and a mistake I've never seen happen before. That person would eventually share the images online, with them spreading quickly throughout the LEGO community. This was so big that the company themselves had to rush out the official pictures and other info about the set, being given the number 76405. While many liked it at the surface, diving deeper into the set revealed many small flaws that hinders the likability of it. First of all, it doesn't include power functions or any way to add them, which sucks for a $500 set. Second, the train doesn't fit on the normal track system made for other trains, and the ones included take up too much of the set. More pieces should have been added to maybe make another train car, as it only includes one passenger car. Lastly, the minifigure selection disappointed many. It included a selection from various films in the saga, but left out adult Ron and Hermione, and instead had these two random Hogwarts students in their place. Overall, I don't think the set will sell very well, but it's not bad by any means, just flawed. This next case isn't really just a LEGO controversy, but one that extends to Star Wars as a whole. About a year ago, it was announced that the franchise would be renaming one of its most famous ships, that being the Slave One. If you are somehow not aware, this is the ship of Boba Fett, that first appeared all the way back in 1980's Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. Since then, it has appeared in various other Star Wars films, including the recent The Book of Boba Fett Disney Plus series. But in this show, the ship wasn't referred to as a Slave One anymore. In an interview with Tamir Morrison, the actor behind Boba Fett and Jango Fett in the prequels, he said, "I think we call it the Fire Spray. I think I've mentioned it in a couple of episodes. It's a gunship now. That's what we're calling it. We're calling it the Fire Spray Gunship." Yep, I guess Disney deems the ship's name so controversial that they changed the name, just because it has the word slave in it. Why? Who cares? This got the attention of Mark Anthony Austin, one of the actors behind Boba Fett. He was pissed and sent off various tweets calling out Disney for how lame it was. This whole mess relates to LEGO because when they released a Slave One set last year, it wasn't called that. Instead, it was referred to as Boba Fett's Starship, as this was before Fire Spray was used. This confused many people who thought the change was really unnecessary. In May of 2013, a father from Northampton, Massachusetts named Josh Stearns went shopping one day, particularly for LEGO as his two young sons were interested in such. But what he found while doing so shocked him to his core, so much that he made a Tumblr post. This quickly gained attention as a Change.org petition was made to have the company remove it from stores, which gained over 1,000 signatures. But what set could have caused such outrage? Well, it wasn't a set, but instead a sticker sheet Josh found on sale in an unknown store. These featured LEGO City-based characters, specifically construction workers. One had some dialogue under it saying, "Hey babe." Clearly it's a form of catcalling, which Josh saw as street harassment. That same week, two LEGO executives reached out to him, apologizing for the sticker's existence and claiming something like this will never happen again. It turns out the sticker sheet was discontinued in 2010, 3 years before. Personally, I don't know how this was even made and approved, but at least they didn't have the construction worker come out and say,
"Hey, show me them tits, bitch."
Polish artist Zbigniew Libera is most known for a piece he made that was initially sponsored by LEGO. It was to use various LEGO bricks from other sets to make his own creation, one to captivate and awe all who saw it. He finally unveiled it in 1996, and it definitely got that reaction, along with much more. It was a LEGO concentration camp, specifically based off those made by the Germans during World War II. The model features skeleton prisoners, 2 watchtowers, barbed fence, and depictions of torture and cruelty. This of course caused controversy, mainly stemming from Zbignew's use of children's toys to make a cruel and inappropriate display, that he was trivializing such horrors seen during the Holocaust. LEGO was even pissed, as a year later they attempted to persuade him to withdraw the installation from public view. The box made for it even featured a LEGO logo, making it seem like a product from the company, but eventually LEGO would leave him alone. Also in 1997, Zbigniew tried to show the piece at the 47th Venice Biennale, an art exhibition from Italy, but Polish officials wouldn't let him unless he covers up all the LEGO pieces. Since then, the LEGO concentration camp has been more widely accepted, being shown off at various museums, including the New York's Jewish Museum with their 2002 Mirroring Evil exhibition. And finally, what has to be the craziest and most ridiculous controversy from LEGO is the Star Wars set 9516 Jabbas Palace from 2012. This case has always fascinated me, as I even made a video about it all the way back in 2019. When it first came out, there were no problems with it by anyone. It's a really great set with a fantastic selection of minifigures and a fun build. but news came out in January 2013 that some found the set to be racist. Well, during Christmas of 2012, a father from Vienna complained to the Turkish cultural community of Austria after his son had received the set as a gift. They found that the palace seemed to resemble the Hagia Sophia, a mosque located in Istanbul. Various demonstrations of the similarities within architecture appeared online, which some thought was a joke initially, but as claims started to ramp up, so did the scale of the situation. Officials pointed out how the set depicts Jabba, the fat slug man, as a terrorist who smokes a hookah, kills his victims, and acts as a shady crime boss, who could be seen as a stereotype against Orientals and Asians alike. LEGO would soon come out with their take on these accusations, saying how these Turkish communities must have interpreted this wrong, as if they believed the set was racist, that they should be giving attention to Star Wars in general. Why weren't these groups pissed at Lucasfilm, since this location has been seen in popular culture since 1983, with the release of Return of the Jedi? It's been in many other toys, but I guess this LEGO set from 30 years later after the fact is what pissed them off. It must also be mentioned that this story got so big that Alex Jones covered it on his show InfoWars. I found this episode through the Internet Wayback Machine, and it's just flippin' hilarious. He doesn't even bring in the correct set, just the component one, the Rancor pit, which is sent only partially built, and his most ridiculous line ever, outside the frog one, is said,
"The Turkish group in Germany and Austria, here it is right here, the Rancor, ladies and gentlemen, is racist. T-Rex is racist. If you go..."
I wish this became a meme. God, this guy is built like a mythical troll. Rumors are spread that LEGO wanted to retire Jabbas Palace early, but this isn't true. It retired in December 2013 when it was supposed to, so the accusations of racism did not affect the set in any way. If anything, it brought more attention to it. I actually bought this set earlier this year, making it the most expensive LEGO purchase I've ever made, at $430. But it's worth it, as I even have the Rancor pit and sail barge set to go with it.